was having a debate talking about why isn't it more Americans in the World Boxing Super Series tournament and they fighting for the Muhammad Ali Cup. It's only one American in there and you fighting for the Muhammad Ali Cup. It's your boy CJ Goodfella back with the Boxing Clinic now. I seen interview on Dontae's Boxing Nation. Shout out to him doing good work with one of the dudes from the Mayweather boxing gym, one of the up-and-coming fighters, Marcellus. He's a heavyweight. And he was talking about the politics of why Andrew Tabiti wasn't in the tournament on the cruiserweight side. Now, if you're not familiar with the World Boxing Super Series, it's headed by former CEO Richard Schaefer of Golden Boy. Now he got his own thing, Ringstar Sports. It's a little promotional thing. Trying to jump back in the game and get some notoriety with this tournament. Teamed up with a UK promoter, Kaylee Sutherland, whatever it was. And basically, they said that they called in Ellaby and Floyd to get, and I guess they got Al Heyman to get Tabiti in the tournament, and it couldn't be done. They didn't want him in. For whatever reason, I don't know. But Irish Mike Perez got in, and he only fought one time at cruiserweight, and he has a reputation for being lazy. This is the guy from Mayweather Boxing Gym, Marcellus, talking about the situation, not my point of view. He said he got a reputation for being lazy, and now he's squeezing down to make a weight. He called him a sacrificial lamb in the tournament. He said they didn't want to have a replay of the Andre Ward Super 6 tournament where an American that had little or no chance to win the tournament came in and dominated the whole tournament. They had a lot of Europeans, a few Americans in there. He dominated the whole tournament. He said they didn't want to replay of that with Andrew Tabiti. I can see that. And you wonder, especially, cruiserweight and super middleweight historically has been European, tough European divisions mostly. But they tried to make the tournament a junior middleweight, which is more of a base of American talent, and they couldn't get it done. The WBC tried to do a tournament, it fell apart. Guys just refused to fight each other on that side. Now, one guy theory I was talking to was the fact that, the Americans didn't want to go over there and compete with the Europeans because the Europeans are so dominant in boxing. I was like, you know what, you're a dumb fuck. At the end of the day, you could have made the argument that these guys didn't want to go over to Europe and fight. They didn't want to go over to Europe and get robbed and get fucked. Historically, Americans never really had to go to Europe to prove themselves. Roy Jones, Floyd never win. So a lot of people look at it like, them motherfuckers ain't never win. I ain't going over there to get robbed. All the robberies in the Olympics, over there. You got robbery in Atlanta, Georgia as well. So Anthony Durrell was actually invited as part of the Callum Smith fight to fight in that tournament. He declined. So Callum Smith pulled out their fight, and he's going to fight for the WBC Diamond belt with some bullshit. And there's only one world title in this belt, and that's George Groves. And Jesse Hart's not going to fight in the tournament because he has a title shot versus Gilberto Ramirez. So that leaves 3 people already out right there. So as far as do Americans want to go over there? And that's the point. And the only American that's in this tournament between the two divisions, 16-man tournament, is Robert Brandt. And the only reason Robert Brandt is in this tournament because they had one spot open. He was supposed to fight the Nadam Ryota winner. Ryota got robbed by the Nadam in his own country. WBA ordered a rematch, so he got to wait another calendar year at the least to fight for his title and just be sitting there waiting. So he decided to have his promoter petition for him to get in the tournament. They let him in. A guy with virtual no shot, less of a shot than Andre Ward had going into the Super 6. He's a guy who fought at 160 pounds. He's a guy that, hasn't even reached contender status pretty much, or a meat. I'm going to say contender because he's about to fight for a title. He hasn't reached the meat of the middleweight division yet. He hasn't had one really upper echelon fight yet. But he's going to move up to super middleweight and fight, bigger guys. Not saying that this tournament is super, talented, because it's not. George Groves is the #1 seed. That should tell you something right there. Callum Smith is a good fighter as well. Chris Eubanks Jr. got a lot of talent, but we don't know what he is. As far as yet, he's still developing. And, Robert Brandt wasn't picked. He had to, he was, basically the last guy picked, and it was automatic because all the top seeds had already picked, so he had to get a fight. And the guy that he's fighting is a light heavyweight who just fought Nathan Cleverly. That's who he's fighting. And this guy is a bigger guy. Obviously, it's a guy that nobody wanted to fight first. because George Groves said I pick an easy fight Jamie Cox first. So basically, they think he's in a lose-lose situation. A guy that's moving up 8 pounds, fighting a guy that used to be a light heavyweight. You know, a guy and Robert Brant, who hasn't even fought a upper echelon opponent, in my opinion, at the middleweight division, which is not really stacked. You know, the cards are stacked against him, and they put him in a tough situation. And if he rises and wins this tournament, they never do another tournament like this again. Trust me. But another American dominates this tournament. He has the lowest percentage of all time. You know, he does, to win this tournament, as far as the numbers and everything that's stacked against him would indicate. You know, I don't think a lot of Americans wanted to go over there. That's just my point of view. They didn't want to be in a European-based tournament, especially when they could, you know, maneuver and do what they want to do. I was surprised that Caleb Plant wasn't able to get in that tournament. I know David Benavidez is now about to step in for Callum Smith and Anthony Durrell fight in a fight for a title. So a lot of these guys was tied up, but I don't think a lot of guys wanted to go to Europe and fight. If it was based in America, I think it would have been a better